Hi, which Innerway is the must-have for every build, regardless using sword, regardless umbrella, or whatever build, you will need this Innerway. So next time when you see this Innerway, you must upgrade to the top tier without any hesitations. So you don't have to worry to exchange them away, and you don't have to worry your season reset for your Innerways exchange. So all these are must-have for your Innerways. So let's start with the Innerways. So in every weapon combination built in Weaponsmith, there's two Innerway types. The first is your mandatory Innerway for your current build. For example, I'm using Umbrella, I must have this Bosom Barrage. You say if you are using sword, you must have either this sword horizon for your strategic sword or your sword move for your nameless sword. So this is classified as mandatory for your current build. So normally they'll come with two mandatory and two optionals Innerway for every build in Weaponsmith. So rather than build mandatory Innerway, we are going to look for general Innerway that compatible for all the builds. So you can use it for every build in the optional slot that will not give you disadvantage and actually boost every build you are using. So regardless of what build you have, you must have this Mario chance. So this one, not to mention, you hear this one every time in every videos, every YouTuber mentions you need this Mario chance. So this is super OP because in every attacks and every healings, you get 80% chance to get this reverse to boost your physical penetrations, which up to 5 times. So look at this one, the physical penetrations is very hard to get from other bonus. So one of the way is to get from your Mario chance. Look at this one at 0 penetrations. So this is a must-have for every build, regardless if you are using swords or umbrella or whatever healers. You must have this Mario chance. And the second general Innerway you must use for every build is your bitter seasons. Because this Innerway allow you to apply poison counter in every hit, stack up to 5 times and reduce your opponent's physical defense and your opponent's deck damage over time. This is super OP and compatible to every build. Let's say if you are using Twin Blade, you does a very quick attacks, it build out the poison counter very fast. And if you are using umbrella-like attacks, so this poison counter build up very fast also. And if you are using sword like strategic swords, you have the bleed counters. So this combined with your poison effects, it does massive amount of damage over time with fast poison, which is super OP. So this one is a must-have. So this one you can put it to every build regardless of what you are using. So you can upgrade to tier 6 whatever you have without exchange them away. The next one is your 5-fold bleed. So this is at the blue tier. It's very easily to get. So this one is compatible to your sword, Twin Blade, or whatever you are using. So this one, when you hit your opponents, you get a whipping blood counter. So your opponent also taking damage per seconds. And also once you hit the 5 counters, it does a piercing damage. And this piercing damage is a lot and it's proven to be contributing a lot of damage to your build. So this 5-fold bleed is also compatible to whatever regardless of what build you have. You can wear this one. Then the last one is this inside strike. Because in every build you need affinity. Affinity is your highest damage. So having affinity boost in one of your Innerway slot is very helpful. So if you are at the mid game, you probably have more than 15 or 20% of the affinity rate like this one. So this will very good for your insightful strike. So this come to the base where you need to use this insightful strike to boost your affinity damage. So every affinity damage triggers, let's say 21% triggers, you get a focus counter. Generate focus and enter into the concentration mode for 10 seconds. So this further boosts affinity damage by 10% and also have 5 chance to reduce the damage taken by 40%. So this is a lot and compatible for every build because every build it will trigger affinity damage. Then come to the second part is your build bounce Innerway. So let's say if you are unsure of what build you're going to do, so these are the Innerway that you're going to use for your build, which is the mandatory Innerway for this build. For example, if you are using strategic sword, you must need this sword horizon because this gives you additional attack like this crisscrossing sword. So without this sword horizon, your strategic swords cannot perform well. So this is a must-have for your sword. Let's say if you plan to jump back to your sword build, you definitely need this sword horizon Then the second is your sword move, because this increases the number of waves for your nameless sword. So without the sword move, your nameless sword cannot perform properly. So the original nameless sword is only 1 wave. So with this one, you can do up to 3 waves for your nameless sword charge skill. And under tier 6, you can perform more sword waves with this Innerway. So this is a must-have for your nameless sword. The next one is your versus barrage, and this one is mandatory for your umbrella skill, because your umbrella can stun the opponents. So this one allow you to stun 2 times. So this is a must-have for your umbrella builds. The next one is your Wolf Chaser Arch. So this one you need it for your Heaven Cracker Spear build, because this generate more counter for your swing attacks. So you need this to get the maximum boost for your Heaven Cracker Spear build with either your strategic sword and nether spear builds. The last one is your Curse of Oblivion. Let's say you are planning to switch back to your Twin Blades. So this one is a must-have. It boosts your light attacks, because in the Twin Blade you're going to do a lot of the light attacks, and you also increase the HP damage dealt by 5%. So this is a must-have for your Twin Blade. This is a must-have if you are going to switch back to your Twin Blades. So all these are mandatory Innerways that you're going to use if you're looking for long-term to play in the Windsmith. So all these are mandatory Innerway. So that's all of them without any worry. So see you in the next videos. Bye bye.